Large protests defied the new ban on gatherings in Belgrade, but they remained largely peaceful. Unlike the preceding two nights, when rioters attacked the parliament building. These are scenes the Serbian government hopes have subsided now. President Aleksandar Vucic called the protesters hooligans while addressing the nation during an official flight to Paris. I promise you that we will be able to preserve peace and stability, despite the criminal, hooligan, violent attacks we are all shocked by. I am urging all our people in Belgrade and in other cities not to confront the hooligans themselves. We will do that as a state. We will do it and we will win. Earlier this week, Vucic had announced that a new coronavirus lockdown would be imposed. Protests erupted just hours later. Many Serbians accused the autocratic Vucic of being the one who allowed the coronavirus crisis to spin out of control in the first place. In June, he abruptly eased previously strict measures in order to hold an election that tightened his grip on power. Since then, Serbia has experienced a surge in new coronavirus cases. I don't have a problem with these measures, but I do have a problem with shutting them down just because of the elections and then reimposing them. Our government is simply looking after its own interests. The people are just collateral damage. Serbia went back 5 centuries under President Vucic. The thousands of people who gathered in Belgrade and other Serbian cities in defiance of the new ban made it abundantly clear that they have no intention of letting their voices be silenced.
And let's get more on that. I am joined now by journalist Idro Seferi, who has been following the protests in the Serbian capital, Belgrade. First of all, just tell us about what happened last night.
Well, it was very peaceful protest. Even some people were there insisting to make violence, but this didn't succeed. Clearly, these groups were called out as provokers from the other protesters who were sitting there, and they told them that they are not there to make any violence. Protesters wanted to show to the police and authorities that they are not violent, but it's the state who is attacking them all the time. And I have to say that these protests are not anymore about pandemic, and they were calling the president of Serbia to resign from his position, saying that they cannot stand his politics anymore.
Tell us a little bit more about what they're asking for, because, I mean, as you've just mentioned there, these protests, they were first sparked by the pandemic measures, but now it's about so much more than that, these anti-government rallies, really. So what do they want?
There were in Serbia all this last 2 years protests against the government, but now they are without political leaders of opposition, and they even don't want them. They say that it's the nation who wants the government and president to resign because they are feeling under pressure and they don't have any chance to make a choice in their own. And this protest didn't happen only in Belgrade, but last 2 nights they spread out in the city of Niš and Novi Sad and in other places. They tried to say that they don't want any more autocratic leadership.
So they want the government gone, essentially. Now there's been a decision not to impose a weekend curfew in the capital when it relates to the coronavirus pandemic. And just out of curiosity, is that likely to appease at least some of the protesters, perhaps?
I don't think so. They announced another protest tonight from 6 o'clock, and they will be there probably. Even there is a decision that not more than 10 people can gather in public space, but they are going to be there because they don't want to stop this protest against president. And they even tried to send a message last night by cleaning the place after they left around 1 o'clock after midnight.
Okay, that's quite polite as far as protests go. Journalist Idro Seferi joining us with The View from Belgrade. Thank you so much.